Hello, comic book guys and gals, and welcome to Comic Mag Musings Live. I'm your host, Bill Miller. Today we're going to do an unboxing. We are also, or at least I'm going to also use this opportunity to shout out 3 channels for a contest that the Comic Collector is having for community support. Hey Rick, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. How are you? Hey Roger, good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining. So before I do that, before I do the shout outs for the community support contest that the Comic Collector is having, and before I do the unboxing, I figured we'll go through and do a 50-cent comic book haul from some books that I got months and months ago from a local comic book shop that closed, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, something like that. So let's get cracking, showing and telling these rascals. We've got Age of Conan, Valeria, number 4. Glad to have you, sir. This is written by Meredith Finch, covered by Jay Anacleto, and this issue features Thoth Amon. Is a nemesis of Conan. And then we have one of maybe 10 issues known to exist. I tease, I kid. One of maybe millions. Ghost Rider number 31 in the poly bag from 1992, written by Howard Mackey, art by Andy Kubert and Joe Kubert. And the polybagged ones have a poster. We have Monsters Unleashed number 1. This is the E cover by John Tyler Christopher. This is from 2017. The Immortal Hulk number 21 from 2019, the A cover by Alex Ross. This is written by Al Ewing and the art's by Ryan Bodenheim. Just over 54,000 is the circulation for that book. You know, there's got to be a Conan in there. So Conan the Barbarian number 5, the A cover, written by Jason Aaron, art by Mahmoud Asrar, and the cover is by Isaac Ribbit. This is Detective Comics 13 from the New 52, 2012, written by John Layman, cover by Jason Kubak. And this features the first appearance of Emperor Penguin. Detective Comics Annual number 1, also from 2012, written by Tony Daniel, and the cover is by Tony Daniel and Sandu Floria. And all of these are maybe 9.0 to 9.6 condition-wise. Actually, most of them are. Some are lower, like this one. Khazar the Savage number 2 from 1981, written by Bruce Jones. True, I'm a sucker for sword and sorcery. Art and cover by Brent Anderson. We've got Hawkman 19 from this year, the B cover, written by Robert Venditti, and this is a Dan Panosian cover. Pretty cool. We got number 18, B cover, by Richard Pace. This issue features the first appearance of Sky Tyrant, a Hawkman of the Dark multiverse. Hey Prowler, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, that is a pretty cool cover. Hawkman doesn't get a whole lot of love, but he's a pretty good character. I read the only two Showcase Presents black and white trades of Hawkman, and I mean they were, for what they were pretty good, right? They're typical 60s DC superhero fare, but they weren't necessarily any worse than any of the others from that time period. So. Hellboy in the BPRD, number 0 from 2019, the B cover by Mike Mignola. We've got X Factor number 31 from 1988, written by Louise Simonson, art and cover by Walt Simonson, and this features the first cameo of Orphan Maker. And lastly, we have Excalibur number 31 from 1990, written by Scott Lobdell, art and cover by Dave Ross. And this features the first appearance of Vega Superior, the son of Krakoa. That's too metaphysical a question for this channel, Roger. All right, so, hey Nostalgia, how are you? Appreciate you stopping in. At the end, I'll do a really quick recap of the 50 Cent comics and of the comic books that we'll unbox here shortly. But before I do, I wanted to note a community support contest that Tim, the comic collector, is having. Let me share that really quickly. There we are. So in his community support contest video, he announced a community support contest, and I will use this video for that contest. And here are the rules. You must, in order to participate and qualify for a prize, actually, I think you can still participate, but to qualify for a prize, you have to be 18 or older, either live in the US, or you can prize tag someone who lives in the US. You have to be subscribed to The Comic Collector, to Tony Fett, Retro Tigo, Stanibles Universe, Michael Acri, and Poor Mike. So those channels. And he has links in his video. This guy right here. For all of those channels. So that's the first part. The second part is he wants you to shout out at least 3 channels and put their links in the description of your video if you're a content creator. If you're not a content creator, he wants you to put the comments in his video of 3 channels to shout out. And there will be at least 1 mystery box prize. He's a very heavy DC collector, so it'll probably have a good mix of DC comics in there. But I think I thought it was a really good idea. Still do. And so I wanted to participate in that. So here are my 3 shout outs, and let's see what we got. Hey, Jackson, how are you? Good to see you, sir. Andy, always good to see you. Thanks for joining. Appreciate that. So here are my 3 channel shout outs for the Comic Collectors Community Support Contest. I'm slightly hijacking this to incorporate that into it. So first we have this fella, Reaper Tate 728. This is Anthony. He's been on YouTube for a while. If you haven't come across his channel, I highly suggest you check it out. He has some incredible superhero books, but for me, the creme de la creme of his videos and his channels are his EC books, particularly his horror and crime books. But really, with EC, the crime and the horror, they were all the same. You know, crime, suspense, shock, suspense, and the 3 horror titles are really all the same type of comic book. And it's just a joy to see some of the beautiful EC covers that he'll bring out and flex every now and then. So that's Reaper Tate 728. And that is the first of my shout outs. Try to keep up. Hey, Rod, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for joining, sir. Gray Man, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Do a quick check, make sure. C. White, thanks for stopping in. And so we did a 50-cent haul to start. I'm going to do these shout outs, and then I'll do a quick unboxing, and then I'll do a really quick recap for anyone that might have joined a little bit later. So the second of my 3 shout outs that I'm going to do is this one. From north of the border, Mr. Miracle Comics. Really enjoy his channel. He is one of the regular participants in Grader's Notes. So if you hadn't had the opportunity to watch that show, it's fantastic. Every 2 weeks, I believe, on Thursday. Let's see, I think, I'm not sure. I mixed up the time zone. See, I live in Arizona, and we don't have we don't have daylight savings time, so we let the rest of the country worry about that. I think it starts at like 3 or 4 my time. I'm not sure what time that is Eastern. I think Eastern's maybe three hours ahead of us. But Grader's Notes is fantastic. So the chat helps from the prior episode. They help the panel just to decide upon a comic book that they're going to do a deep dive into. And so everyone on the panel reads it, dissects it, and then they give it ratings from theoretically from 0 to 5, 5 being the highest, on how well the comic book hit in certain categories like story, art, cover, concept, overall. And then the chat also gets to grade. It's very interactive in that respect. So it's a fun time. Everyone seems to enjoy it. And Mr. Miracle's a big part of that. He also does what I've really been enjoying a lot lately, his 5 undervalued speculation comics. And there are a lot of spec videos out there, but he really digs deep into them. I mean, look at them. They're all 25 minutes, 28 minutes, 21 minutes. He goes into finite detail on different aspects of that particular issue and how that may lend itself to this being a good pickup at that particular point in time that the video drops. And if he's a little bit late on it, he'll let you know that too. So really good channel. I would highly suggest that you subscribe to him because he produces great content. John, how are you? Thanks for stopping by, sir. I appreciate it. And so my last channel to shout out is right here, Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe. I enjoy her videos. She's been on other channels as well during live streams. I think she did a live stream with Night Tiger Comics, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe she did. And she has a really good Silver and Bronze Age DC collection, especially around the Superman family of titles. Superman, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, and I think just recently she sent in her first comics for CGC, and one of them is that beautiful Wonder Woman. I think, was that 203, 204 right there? But she does some women's liber series that takes a little bit deeper dive into the stories of some of the romance comics and some of the Superman title family comics. And it's just really interesting and fun to see how much things have changed in gender relations from the 1960s and 70s until right now. But really fun channel, some really cool DC books. That's Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe Comics. And so that is my third shout out. All right, so those are the shout outs that I have. And now let's crack open a couple of these boxes. Nothing too big. This one got from Dig Auctions. Not happy with this at all. So I had never gotten anything from them before, but because of the circumstances around the pandemic, they stopped their auction early. And so it kind of defeated my strategy of leveraging the cost of shipping. So I wasn't very happy about that. I don't know that I'll get anything from them again. Exactly. I'm not digging it. So just one book, not a big book. It was only like $2 or something like that. I just wanted it as a reading copy. So. Packaged well. And there it is, Jonah, number 35, Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex is one of the titles I collect. And I wanted to get this one as a reading copy. So that is it on that one. Let's see, so on the 5th of this month, Tuesday, it was my wedding anniversary. So Mrs. Musings is obviously an extremely lucky woman, and it was our 3rd wedding anniversary. And she was kind enough to get me a couple items. This is one. So we'll open this guy up. I think I should be doing this away from myself, right? Telling you, I think this was engineered for a right-hander. That's the way life is for left-handers. I don't know which one the left or which one the third is, but if it is, then it's fitting if this is indeed a comic book, which I highly suspect it is. So I got her a recipe book. No, because that would be my last wedding anniversary. I'm not smart, but I'm not dumb either. So yes, as a youth, when I'd go into a sporting goods store to get a baseball glove, there'd be one beat to hell left-handed glove, kind of halfway between the two shelves, with rows and rows of right-handed gloves everywhere. And things really haven't changed much since. I remember once upon a time, after I got out of the Army, I was in Central Texas, and I started working at a grocery store called H-E-B. So anyone from Texas, they would know it's like a Texas homegrown grocery store. And eventually I became a cashier before I went to the produce department. But everything's set up for right-handers, so you got to kind of relearn everything as a left-hander to do it the way the rest of the world does. Oh boy, very cool. So we got plenty of bubble wrap. And this, I don't know what this is. I didn't know what this was, but she got me something else that obviously I do know what it is, and I'll show that to you as well. So we've got Rom the Space Knight #1. So very cool. I'm a big fan of Rom, and all of the Japanese toy line adaptations from Marvel. Rom, Micronauts, Shogun Warriors. So it says Rom #1, Marvel Comics, December of 1979. Origin and first appearance of Rom, first appearance of Brandy Clark and the Dire Wraiths. Bill Mantlo story, Sal Buscema art, Frank Miller and Joe Rubinstein cover. It's got to be a fairly early cover work by Frank Miller, I would think. But I think I have all of these readers. I've read every ROM series that's been made, not just the original, but the ones that have been made since. They're really good. Well, the original is really good. Some of the others are hit and miss. All right, and I did get one other item. And she got me this guy, which I've been wanting for a while. This was on my top 20 books of 2020. So this is Defenders #1, August of '72. Doctor Strange, Submariner, and Hulk begin. Sal Buscema, Frank Giacoia art. This is CGC 9.2 off-white pages. So I'm very excited about that. Now, in order to help pay for this, I will be taking courses at LaSalle Extension University. So Defenders #1, super excited to have that guy. Obviously, I collect Defenders and ROM. So those are the unboxings that we had for today. I'll do a quick recap what we had. These are some 50-cent books that I got probably 4 months ago now, maybe 5, probably in the beginning of, or mid-January, I'm not sure which, from a local comic book shop. Got Excalibur 31, X Factor 31, Hellboy and BPRD 0, Hawkman 18, well, that sucks. Who'd you send the $5 to, C. White? How'd you know they're from Slapsylvania, Gray Man? Hawkman 19. You know what? I have zero like sources, especially when it comes to speculation and the entertainment mediums. But it feels like he's due for something. He's always kind of been, you know, one of the redheaded stepchildren, kind of like the Atom prior to this recent movie, Aquaman. But it feels like there's something to be done there, whether it be a TV show or working into a movie or something like that. Kazar number 2, second series, well, third series actually. Batman Annual, Detective Comics Annual number 1. Detective Comics number 13, written by John Layman, who actually lives here in the Valley. Really cool guy. I took a comic book writing class at community college years and years ago, before Mini Musings was even born. And I had known John from Phoenix Comic Cons and talking to him, and we'd text back a little bit here and there. And I asked him to review a script, because the final project for this class was to write a comic book script for a known Marvel or DC character. And I chose Hawkeye, and I shared it with him, and he was really encouraging, and just a real cool guy to work with. We got Conan number 5. Hey, Kenny, how are you, sir? Thanks for stopping by. Immortal Hulk 21. And I do think it's a matter of time before the Immortal Hulk is worked in. It's too good of a story. It'll be worked into a movie somewhere. Monsters Unleashed number 1, the action figure variant. Not really big on those, but I figured for 50 cents I'd pick it up. The ultra rare, you may never have seen it before, you may never see it again, Ghost Rider number 31. I kid. I must have 4 or 5 of those. And Age of Conan Valeria number 4. So those are the 50-cent books I picked up. I did a shout out for the Comic Collectors Community Support Contest. Shout out 3 channels. And I shouted out Reaper Tate 728 because of his drool-worthy EC collection. I shouted out Silver-Haired Bronze Age Babe. And I shouted out Mr. Miracle Comics, our Canuck friend. Hey, Barbarian. Thanks for stopping by. And We did an unboxing of this guy from Dig Auctions, which I didn't dig. Probably won't be doing that again because they stopped the auction early and I didn't get a notification. But I collect Jonah Hex and I wanted a reedy copy. So this is Jonah Hex 35. Yeah, it's in 5 to 6 range. And the luckiest woman in Phoenix, Mrs. Musings, celebrated her 3rd wedding anniversary with me on the 5th of May. And she was kind enough to get me ROM number 1. And a book that was on my 2020 list, Defenders number 1. They might hit someday. You never know. So now I got her comic books too, but apparently she didn't want that. So I'll be taking those back. But that's it. That's what I had for today. I did, yes. Yes. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night, Gray Man. I got it all kind of figured out. So I even have little pictures now of the comics next to the comics. Little cover pictures. Because, thank you, sir. There we are. Appreciate that, Kenny. Because there was a little bit of a mix-up when I had Marvel Spotlight 6 and 7 on there. I was assuming too many things. You know what happens when you assume things? And so obviously I just figured version 1, it was understood. But she misinterpreted that for Marvel Spotlight version 2. And so there's been a little bit of mix-up from that. So yes, I think it's pretty clear now. That's smart. But it does take just a little bit of the surprise out of it. So it was fun to get those. I'm excited to have them both, that's for certain. And she did well. So I can't complain. But that's it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I appreciate that. In the description, after YouTube finally processes this video and puts it up, I will put the links for the Comic Collector, as well as the 3 channels that I shouted out. And I would encourage you to sub them up, as well as everyone that you're not subbed up to already in the chat. Kenny, again, congratulations on hitting 1,000. In my opinion, it's about 5 or 6 months later than it should be, but I'm just excited to see you there. I really enjoy your content, and it's well-deserved. So congratulations, sir. And that's it. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you stopping by.